Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Lisa from PosterMyWall, and I will be your coach today. Today, we have Leonard Patterson, music marketing expert. Leonard Patterson back again to share 6 strategies to engage your music fans. As content lead at Artist Collective, Leonard helps musicians and bands to build loyal and active fan bases. So this is right up his alley. So who out there really wants to build a large following of really engaged fans and maybe even create some new revenue streams? Sounds good, right? Well, and I guess the question is, who wouldn't want those things? You'd have to be crazy not to. So today, Leonard's going to show us 6 case studies of different creative fan engagement strategies that are employed by 6 different musicians. The goal for today is that you leave with a creative new fan engagement strategies that you can adapt and use for your own music business, for your band, or if you're a solo artist.
I am in Nashville, Tennessee right now, and currently we've been here about 6 months. I've had the opportunity to live in the Midwest, live on the West Coast for a little while, but we're now in Music City, so I'm excited about that. But yes, I am the content marketing lead, and my whole goal is to help artists and bands basically find their fans and get their music out to people that will want to not only buy their music, but buy into them as a brand and just become lifelong super fans.
All right, so first question for you. Why is fan engagement so important when it comes to music marketing?
Good question. And the real answer, the basic answer is the fact that it represents the phase in the journey where your fans go from passive viewer to actually an active participant or a casual fan. So when we talk about this fan engagement process, we have to make them aware of us. And then once they're aware of us, we get them to engage with us in some way, shape, or form, which is what this whole presentation is about, which helps them become more in tune with us and our music and what we have to offer. And that's when we can get them on our list and talk to them one-on-one and things like that. So it's a really important part of this whole puzzle.
Okay, and what is, in your opinion, the best way for musicians to get their fans to engage with their content?
I would say the best way is to really be yourself, to share your story. Don't be afraid to, don't be afraid to let people in on some of your progress and your journey, but also to provide a call to action. That's really one of the most important things, is to provide a call to action so that people know what you want them to do next. So, quick question for those of you that are watching, thinking about this whole journey of music and marketing, I would love to know, I think Mark was in the chat and I've seen some other folks in the chat, but what do you think you spend the most money on? Do you think it's music or do you think it's marketing? Quick question, just drop us a comment in the chat. You can just drop music or the word marketing in the chat. We'd love to see just in general what you spend the most music on, like gear or ads or whatever. Let us know.
Okay, and you had some examples to show us about engagement?
Yes, and so I've got 6 examples. They're kind of all over the board in all different types of engagement. So I'll just walk through a few of them. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. But yes, the first one that I wanted to present to you is, her name is Atina, the H is silent, but she's been doing a really interesting process of sharing short form videos and then also attaching that with an email. So a lot of things that we talk about are, once you get people on your list, on your email list, how you can keep them engaged. And there's a lot of discussion out there about having a newsletter to nurture your fans. Well, what she's done is basically take some really short form video and turn that into like a nurturing email. So basically what she does is she shares happy hump day videos on a weekly basis, takes that same video, shares it to shorts, reels, and TikTok videos, and then she uses those videos to email her fan base every week, just with a quick positive note. And this box here is basically what, that is the length of the email. It's not really lengthy. She does not coming up with a bunch of crazy stuff. But then she just has these short positive videos that she shares. And then you can see like she gets comments on YouTube, and her email fan base is growing as well. In fact, if I could do this, I think I have one that I wanted to share of her right now. Let me see here. So yeah, this is one of her short videos.
Happy Hump Day. All right, so who are you? Well, you are a good reason to be happy. That's right.
She disappeared, Leonard.
Yeah, I'm not sure why she's not showing, but
you got this. You are wonderful. You are amazing. You are fantastic. You rock. Okay? Later. Have a great rest of your week. Love you mucho.
So yeah, not sure why she didn't show up, but hopefully you heard the message. But she will batch record those, and that was 30 seconds, and she's got a lot of them scheduled out. So she does that on a weekly basis, and it's led to a lot of engagement, like I said, on her email list and on her YouTube page. So
very cool.
Yeah. And then the next example is Mr. John Stevens. He is a 90s country rock artist, and he's basically using live stream engagement to tie into, to get feedback and to like drive his merch and design and sales. And so what John actually does is he's been going live every week, I think maybe with one or two exceptions, for the last 2 years since the pandemic started. And I always think the pandemic is like, I still say it's like last year, but it's been literally 2 years now. But he's been going live for a couple of years every week. And he's got a very conversational approach. He'll spend the first couple of minutes with his admin that'll be like sharing the live stream out. But he encourages people to share. He's been getting to know them really well. And you can see here, he's got hundreds of comments, 500, 600, 700 comments on every live stream. And that's because he's very conversational and he's not worried about going straight from song to song. But what this does is it allows him to use things like StreamYard, which is a live streaming tool that allows him now to do things like bring fans' comments up on the screen. So even another level of engagement that's not just in the chat, but it's also on screen. And taking his time, really nurtured his fan base. And then he will ask them questions and he'll get requests and take requests of covers and his own original songs. And so he's now gotten feedback from people and literally said, oh, cool, everybody keeps requesting these two songs. And then he'll ask them, hey, if I were to make this into merch, would you guys actually purchase this? Everybody's raising their hands. Cool, if you want to know when I launch this, drop your email in the chat. And so he's literally launched merch designs based on his most popular songs from all of the engagement that he's getting on his live streams.
All right. So, well, first I want to check in with Rimshot. Rimshot, anything going on in the chat?
Yeah, to answer Leonard's question, I think music is the more popular answer. One person said that they spend the most amount of money on music equipment as opposed to marketing.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah, it's something that happens quite a bit, but it's definitely a good balance in there if we can find a good balance. But cool, thank you.
Okay, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So as far as doing a live stream, do you think it's best if it's something that's like this, that's a recurring show, a weekly show, or are there other things to do with live streams?
Yes, the live streams are a great way to connect with people on a recurring basis. And the way that John does it is, very public, very quote unquote top of funnel, like that little image of the funnel. He drives awareness with it. He's gaining followers and things like that. But it's definitely not the only way. In fact, our next example is his name is Prateek, and he actually uses videos and live streams kind of at the bottom of the funnel. So this, he uses live streams that are more gated or that are only for members or subscribers. So what he's done though is he built up his fan base first. So he built up his fan base on social, and I'm not talking like thousands and thousands of people. I'm talking about, a few hundred people here and there, but then showing up consistently to know that people are going to be engaged. And then he was able to launch his Patreon. His Patreon, if you're not sure what Patreon is, please look that up. It's an amazing model for musicians and all types of creatives. But he was able to set up a really easy to relate membership. So you can literally name your levels when you're on Patreon, whatever you want to name them. And in addition to having like the music and the live streams and stuff like that behind the paywall, what I really love about his Patreon and why I wanted to bring this up as an example is not only is he using it as a tool of engagement, but he made all of his levels specifically relatable items that people would purchase every day. So it's not just your gold level, platinum level, which, nothing wrong with that, but we see a lot of that. He named his levels based on things that are engaging that people can relate to. So the coffee and bagel level is $5 a month. The burrito level is $10 a month. The t-shirt level, $20. Jeans level, $50 a month. And keeping people in that experience of this is how you can relate to them once they're engaged with you. But I love the way that he has set up his Patreon to do so. And with that behind the scenes content, he does a monthly live stream, which is called Sweatpants Sunday Sessions. So again, very relatable things, very in tune with what people are aware of. But, he's got 79 patrons and he makes over $500 a month just making content. And that's from the engagement of his audience and things like that. So definitely Patreon and memberships probably aren't something that you want to start with if you're just starting off as a musician. But if you're consistent like John and Prateek, and you're able to get some really good signals that people are interested in your stuff, this could be something to consider. In fact, we'll talk about some other membership options here at the close of this.
So then what do you think is probably the how do you decide if Patreon is good for you? What is the point in time or point in your career where you should be starting to look at it?
Yes. And yeah, good question. Patreon definitely makes it easy to set up, and it probably takes maybe 10, 15 minutes to like set up your Patreon and things like that. But yeah, just as I was kind of alluding to, I think it's best served after you've already built a fan base. And I'm not saying like you've got X amount of followers. I'm saying you have people that are commenting on every post, that are responding to your DMs, that are, asking for new music, that are, initiating contact and responding to your signals there. So engagement is one really good way to know, how active your fan base is. But yeah, I would definitely hold off a little bit until you've got some fans there, because it definitely does take a little bit of work to get them over to another platform or into a community. So, but that's a good question though. So one of the things that John and Prateek really have in common is consistent content. So the other piece of this is that you'd have to really make enough content to be able to have some that is social, that's public, but then also enough that you could save some and have some special content for your fans, for your subscribers. So let me ask this question, and drop this in the chat if you like, but just curious, how many times do you typically post on social media each week? Let us know in the chat. I'm curious. The other piece of that whole journey is, yeah, if you're only posting once or twice a week and that's all you can manage, a membership model might not be what you're ready for. But if you're able to be like, cool, I'm posting 6 times and I've got a couple of things that I can use specifically for members, maybe something to consider.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, to move on, I've got a few more examples.
Keep going.
Awesome. So once you have a fan base, once you have things that are active and that you're responding to people, you get to know what they like and you get to know what you have in common. So one artist that I've had the pleasure of working with, Julia Kahn, is she writes and meditates and journals almost every day. And she started to realize that her journaling influenced, some of her lyrics and things that she was writing. And then she realized she was only kind of sharing her music. But when we talked, she's like, I should probably, it'd be great to share and see who else out there writes. Even if they're not musicians, they're creatives and things like that. So she started not only sharing more about her writing process, but she also started offering writing prompts to some of her most engaged fans, like, hey, this is what I use. What would, this might be able to help you. So she's connected with them through journaling in the songs, and she uses those stories to talk about how writing has helped her. And then what she's done with that is she actually designed a blank journal, and I actually have a copy right here, but she designed a blank journal. She's got lines in it that people can use to basically take their thoughts and their writing prompts and things like that, but she gave them a place to actually record their thoughts, their ideas, their dreams, their to-do lists, whatever it is. And then what's really cool about it, if I can show this here, is that even further for people that take that journey and purchase the journal, I'll show it here. She's actually got a QR code that's only inside the journal. It's not published anyplace else, but she's got a QR code inside the journal that will then take people to a hidden website that has like a playlist of things that she listens to while she's writing. Some of her songs are in there, but it's other artists and then some other prompts and stories and things like that. So a very cool way to kind of take her writing process and use that to engage and connect with her fans.
Yeah, that's really unique. I've never heard of another artist doing that.
Very cool. Awesome. And I did see a couple of people in the chat talking about how often they actually post. I think someone said several times a day, I think, or several times a week.
Yes. Clarine said she posts multiple times a day, including on weekends. Mark says he posts 5 times a week on his business page and then 3 times a week on his personal page as well.
Nice. Okay, so both of you, I'm not sure if you have memberships or not, but that's the kind of frequency that if you wanted to give something special to a certain part of your community or something, you're making enough stuff that you could be like, cool, let me turn this one post into something my community might want. So love to hear that. I say, think less, post more. It's going to be a shirt really soon. Okay. So after Julia, I wanted to show you Mr. Chris Robley and what he's done. This is less about like one-to-one like engagement like on social media, but what he's done is he's created an engaging and a very immersive experience for his album. And this is one of the most unique album launches that I've seen. And he's done really creative stuff like with videos and reverse and all kinds of cool stuff. But what he does is he offers his fans a virtual tour, walking tour through his latest release for his engaged fans and even his fans that are just becoming aware of him. But it's basically a 7-day experience. And once you sign up, you get 1 email a day for 7 days. And each day basically walks you through a location, which each of the songs on this particular album are based on some city or some location in America. So it's literally a walking tour that walks you through these different places. But what you're really doing is you're getting this experience and you're getting to know some of the inspiration behind the song. And he's really bringing you in with not just, hey, here's my album, go get it, but let's go on this journey together. So yeah, each new day is a new location, a new list of things to pack to bring with you, and a new song that coincides. And at the end of those 7 days, that's where you're able to make your purchase. So he's gotten you engaged and involved in this whole experience for 7 days. You've gotten to know him, you've gotten to know his motivation for creating this album. And then the last day of the actual walking tour, you have to exit through the gift shop. Something very common that we're all aware of. Anytime we go to any park, any kind of themed venue, we have to exit through the gift shop, and that is with intention. So that's where you get a chance to buy the album, buy merch, and all of that stuff that not only you're aware of, but like you've experienced now. So a very cool way to design an album launch. In fact, I wanted to show you, he went through a lot of work for his website as well. So this is an intro video. I'm not going to play it because I'm afraid that he'll just disappear. But what I will do is, and I would encourage you, this is going to be one of the links. I would encourage you he not only does he do great music, but I would encourage you to sign up and just experience this for yourself. It might spark some ideas for your next album or your next experience for your fans. And that's why, Lisa said that we've got the links to all of these. All of these will be available because I want you to be inspired by what we're sharing. But once you sign up for the list, you'll reserve your spot and then you'll get those emails. But even just scrolling through his website, like you're getting these walking paths going down each piece of this is an entire journey, and then you're able to then go on a guided tour. But a really cool design and a really cool theme. So I really like the way that he put this together.
All right, and we are running a little short of time, so let's jump ahead a little bit. And
Sure.
What about NFTs? You hear a lot about them. Are musicians able to sell NFTs?
Yes. So a lot of things that you'll hear online right now about NFTs are people minting NFTs and trying to sell them, and all of these major label artists who are making millions of dollars off of these quote unquote NFT drops. And a lot of the NFT discussion is around money. What I liked about Avenged Sevenfold and the way that they did it, and if you don't know them, they're a heavy metal band from California that's been around since like the late 90s, early 2000s. But what I loved about how they are approaching NFTs is they are approaching it for community versus profit. Now, their profit will probably become on the back end. These are inexpensive to purchase their NFTs, but what they've done is they've kind of taken their logo and their whole theme, and they've created these different characters, and everyone that actually owns one of these will be a member of the Deathbats Club. And so it's a very on-brand club type membership for them, but it's based on NFTs, and it is based on using these NFTs to be able to access unique experiences and content based on the band. So they've got, they're literally talking about how they're going to create these different venues and things in the metaverse that these NFTs will actually, the members of the Deathbats Club will have access to. So yeah, it's a very unique, I think, spin on it to kind of go community first with the NFTs. And there's a lot of different ways to kind of to spin that. But I wanted to highlight this because I think that this is a really good model for indie musicians to think about first versus how can I make money off of NFTs right now.
It's really fascinating. The idea of having, concerts and parties for club members and building a club, I think, is something a lot of musicians could probably get some mileage out of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. And along with that, one of the things that I did want to mention is if NFTs are still not your jam yet, or you're not even interested in diving into them, that's okay. It's really just about community and building up subscribers and an engaged community. So we have examples of that already. So if you're not ready for NFTs, don't worry about it. In fact, you might want to start here first anyway, because these are much lower barrier of entry ways to build a community. So on Twitch, even on Instagram, you've got your close friends list, Facebook groups, Discord, Slack, and even meetup.com, now that we can kind of get back to some in-person things like that. So there's all different avenues and tools that will help you build community and drive that engaged fan base, which is what this is all about.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you so much. I hope everybody's found a case study that they can apply in some way, and we would love to hear which case study you think you might be able to apply to your own band. Okay, so I'm going to get to the bonus content. Audrey's going to share that link in the chat, and if you click on that and get to the bonus content, you get this great landing page, and you have how to contact Leonard and some templates. But the best thing here is that if you click here on Get Leonard's List, you get the bonus content, which you can download. And two things. One is the list of how to get, how to check out each of the artists we've talked about if you want to dive more into how those artists are marketing themselves. And also his tips, his 35-day post planner, which is a totally useful thing to have that I would recommend to everybody. Also, Audrey's going to give you a second link. Leonard has written a book, which is 83 live stream ideas, tips, and tools. And he's giving away the first chapter of that free to people who subscribe to his newsletter. So Audrey's putting that link into the chat so that you can click and get that if you would like.
Yes. And just one clarification, you will get those 83 ideas when you download that. The book is actually 365 live stream ideas. So yes, the whole
again, first 83 are free. So
the first 83 are free. The first 83 are on me and Lisa.
So yeah, who doesn't want to take advantage of that? That's another good opportunity.
Yeah.
So finally, we've got our offer today. If you'd like 30% off of a premium or premium plus plan, this can be a new subscriber, extending your existing subscription for another quarter or year, or upgrading to premium plus. Promo code is fans30, and that will be active until May 22nd. So please, if you're thinking of upgrading or extending, take advantage of the discount. Please share this with anybody that you think would be interested, and come back anytime and watch it again. So Audrey Rimshaw and I will be back next week with another class, a design coffee break, create impactful small business videos the easy way. And we're going to teach you how to create short, like 30-second, 2-minute videos, professional quality promos for your company with the PosterMyWall slideshow video tool without needing a separate video editing platform. So that makes it super easy to do video yourself, and you don't have to. I'm going to do the demo, and I know nothing about video editing, so you'll see how easy it is. And if you want to up your video game, please join us. That will be next Wednesday, May 18th at 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time. So thank you, everybody. Again, that's it for today. I hope everybody adapts one of those ideas or more of them, creates a new revenue stream. And please do email us at PosterMyWall and tell us about it. If you email help@postermywall.com and say that you have just something to share for the live class team, they will get that message to us. So on behalf of Rimshaw, Audrey, Leonard, and myself, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.